So let's talk about the emotion of this night, too, being back reunited with those guys.
Well, this night's been a little bit different than the last one. Last one I was really nervous, uncomfortable with the whole idea. But this one was a lot cooler for me because teammates.
Excellent. Getting to see this year's team. What are your thoughts so far?
Everything was awesome. I think the team was probably as good as they have since they've been here. So,
What do you think brought about that change with the team?
A lot of youth, getting rid of old guys. A lot of these young guys can move around the offensive zone. Balls moving left and right, touching both sides. And Junior looks like an athlete.
Talk about the bond that you had with your former teammates that night.
Never break that bond, especially since we won a championship in '06. You can't. Those are the memories that stick forever.
First and foremost, talk about what it was like being back here tonight.
That was good. It was a lot of fun. Really good to see the old group, and seeing the team that they put together is pretty exciting too. I've got a lot to look forward to.
Talk about the bond that you had with your former teammates and getting to see them again.
Yeah, it was pretty special. I mean, going back to the 16 that everybody else was on, it's probably, if not the closest, one of the closest teams I've ever been a part of. So chemistry is how you live. We certainly had that.
Any good stories about you guys getting back together, getting into trouble?
Yeah, I mean, we went out last night and kind of reacquainted in the wee hours in the morning, so that was fun. Being a shootout today brought back some memories. So yeah, no, certainly will take a lot from the weekend.
Excellent. You mentioned this year's team. Talk about your impressions of them and what do you think of them?
I mean, I think they're pretty fully loaded up front. They've got a lot of goal scorers. They can beat you in a variety of ways. And I think their transition game is strong. Obviously, Chris is doing a great job.
First and foremost, what was it like being back here in Denver tonight?
Oh, it's an absolute thrill. I mean, this place, playing for the Mammoth, playing in this building, was probably one of the best experiences of my life. So to relive it, be back with some old teammates, and obviously see the team do so well, it's tremendous. And my wife actually worked for the Mammoth, so it's a reunion for us of sorts. So I can't say enough about it. Really appreciate the honor. Don't feel like I'm worthy to be amongst those other guys on the team, but happy to be here.
Talk about the bond that you had with those former teammates.
I mean, obviously been in athletics for 25 plus years, and there was nothing like the bond that I shared with this team. It was special, on and off the field. Just we all a lot of different characters that gelled together, and aiming towards that common goal.
Talk about getting to see those guys again. What did that bring
I
back?
mean, we got in. Most of us got in yesterday, and we were out last night just telling stories, talking about old teammates and funny things that happened and great times. It was, it's something I'll cherish forever. These moments don't come around very often. So,
any crazy stories from last night going out?
No, nothing I can share with you.
That's what everyone said to me, and I didn't expect any different.
Good try though.
I had to try. Talk about this year's team, and what do you think of them?
This is the first time I've seen them live. Obviously you got John Grant, who's the best offensive player in the league. If not one of the better players of all time. And a bunch of young bucks that can run, look very athletic, but there's no real individual players out there. They're all playing like a team, moving the ball well, playing great defense. Levis is, playing great in the goal. I mean, the sky's the limit. If they want to, be successful this year, I think the only way it could derail is if they lose belief in themselves.
You always seem to have kind of a bond with Willie B out there. Talk about that.
Maybe it's the bald head and his big stature. I mean, Willie is, I was actually talking to Josh Sims before we ran out. I mean, he's basically the voice of this team. And if he wasn't there, the games would not be as much fun. And coming out, when the Mammoth came out in 2003, he's part of this whole momentum. I mean, it's a special program, it's a special place, and everybody had a part in it, from the Pepsi Center employees to Willie, to the team, the staff, the coaches. I mean, everybody worked together to make this what it is today.
Excellent. And what's the question? What are you up to these days?
I live back in Philly with my wife, Patrice, who I met out here, and we have 2 little daughters. I'm an area manager for Gartner, which is an IT consulting firm. And still do some personal training and coaching on the side. So, yeah, life is good. I certainly miss my days back here.
Talk about being able to reunite tonight with the former teammates on that All-Decade team?
Well, it was, it's great. It's exciting. Each one of these guys battled hard and battled, through some ups and downs. So it's always good to see them again. Every highlight that was shown out there, you saw the championship game in Buffalo, and our success. So it brings back the memories. It really shows, myself how lucky I've been, how fortunate I've been, to play with some of the greatest players in lacrosse history.
Talk about the bond that you had with those guys on that All-Decade team.
Well, it's the relationships that are going to last the rest of your life. It's Brian Lantry and Josh Sims, both roommates on the road, and the memory. There's great memories playing, but what you truly remember is off the floor. Is the plane rides, it's the airports, it's the dinners, and those memories are going to last the rest of your life. These are guys. It's like seeing friends, from college or from, your youth. So we've had a lot of success, the 10 of us together. And like I said, to the day I die, those memories, are gonna stay with me. And it's a relationship bond that's very unique for us.
You 10 guys, I heard Gene Ash said you guys went out on the town last night. Fun a little bit.
We had some fun. It's good to get back, right? And it's, we have East Coast guys, we have West Coast guys, and myself, and Josh and Brian living here. So, we don't get to see each other. We can talk to each other through the social media and whatnot, but to be here together for 2 nights, is something very unique. So you're going to take that opportunity and have some fun and go out and really tell stories and exaggerate on those stories and relive those memories we've talked about.
Any crazy stories happening over the weekend with you guys?
There are absolutely. Absolutely. None that we're going to share. We'll always stay in house. But of course, Brian and Jamie and Dave and Jalbert, those guys together, and it's them, and then it's Patty and myself and Josh and Gator, and so we listen to them for, and those are the crazy ones. We're sort of down to earth, but together it's a great group. But they're absolutely stories that are going to stay amongst us, and not be out in the media for everyone to hear.
Question I had is, talk about the emotion of being back here.
Oh, it's just incredible, to be back in Colorado. Incredible city to embrace myself, my family, all my teammates. Bringing lacrosse here is incredible, pro lacrosse, and it's a great experience. It's great to see all my old buddies back, and looking forward to a great night.
Talk about the bond that you had with those former teammates you got to see tonight.
It's just, it's one of those bonds. You fight together, you play together, you develop a incredible bond. And all those guys out there were part of the 2006 championship. And it's just amazing when you get a group that wins a championship, they come back together. And, there's nothing tighter than a championship team.
You had a chance to see tonight's team in the first half, right?
Yes, I did.
What did you think of them?
I think they're quick, they're fast, they're talented. They got Junior leading the way, and I think that they're going to roll through this year, and hopefully they'll bring another championship back to